What's going on, guys? This is Raymond Iron by McKinney, and today I want to talk about another method by, I think it's Neville Goddard. Again, I consider my channel kind of one of those Neville channels, but it's more about my perspective, and I'm not quoting Neville or anything, but my perspective of his teachings from a different angle. Since we're in a more modern age, it comes from my perspective, not Neville's. This is my channel, not Neville's channel. So, what I want to talk about today was there's a method called the I Remember When method. It's kind of similar to it, maybe revision, where you essentially change the past. Changing a past memory and making it a physical fact, a physical present fact, as if it's never happened. I remember when is using, it's almost like using a distant past memory, thinking to yourself, having that feeling like, oh, I remember I used to be that person that was depressed or sad or always angry or just like not being respected. And you almost like you're imagining as if it's been a distant memory, implying that you're no longer that person, saying like to yourself, wow, I remember when I was treated really badly my past. I remember when I had abusive parents or people who used to abuse me or something like that. I remember wow, I remember those days, but now my life is much better than it used to be. So it's not saying words like, oh, I remember when I sucked at life and now my life is good. No, it truly has to come from a deeper meaning. Saying to yourself, or get into a feeling, that deep root feeling like, wow, I do remember when that happened. I'm no longer that person. So, and you can do it for the opposite too, like saying something like, wow, I remember my life used to be perfect, now it sucks. My life's crap. This is how it is. You hear a lot of people talk like that. And they wonder why their lives are sucking. They're pretty much answering their own question. Every time you give yourself a question like, why is this happening to me? Why is my life sucking so bad? And then the outer world reveals that to you relatively. Now, I'm not saying to be, I'm not ever saying to be perfect with this stuff. Trying to perfect it. We make mistakes, guys. Even though I believe in no mistakes, even though we do make mistakes, there's no such thing as mistakes or accidents in this divine grand plan of imagination. So, yeah, you can use the I remember when, say like you're going to bed, even though you're not physically that person. If you get into that, if you self-persuade yourself to the degree of that you're already that person, assuming that undesired reality is a distant past in your imagination, and implying that you're already the person you desire to be. If you hold faithful to that, you're going to inevitably experience that physically. Now, I remember when method. I feel like it doesn't resonate with me. It's just now it may for some people. That's fine. But I just like to stick to just the magical acts, implying I'm already the person I desire to be, because sometimes it can get a little weird to kind of think of remembering like a distant, undesired past or something. Now, I'm sure it's effective, but again, I like to play with this stuff and make it as simple as possible. So, I remember when method is a, I would say it was probably, it's a pretty good method. And I'm sure, I look at my, when I look at myself and I look at some of the things in my past, I thought, wow, I remember when I used to be those people, that kind of person. Now I'm a more confident, empowered person to really speak these messages on here. Because, like, for me, I remember when, this is an example from me. I remember when, say, like, making videos on here. I remember when I didn't feel confident making videos like this without hesitating or pausing or stuttering. But now I can make these videos without feeling like I'm being judged by others and not worrying about what other people think. Because one thing, here's the thing, guys. People aren't thinking about you all the time, because they have lives too. Don't get offended if they aren't thinking about you. But realize that when you're imagine, or because since you're the operant power, and if you're imagining someone's thinking about you, they're going to think about you inevitably. Or again, I like to think of the thing where you think of someone and then they call you out of nowhere because you've had an magical experience of them calling you or texting you, and then that physically showed up. That's happened to me. I remember that's happened to me a couple times with a friend years ago. I was like, wow, that's no coincidence that happened. So, and I think, yeah, Wayne Dyer also said something interesting, that coincidences, the term coincidence means to coincide, a mathematical term. A mathematic where things are perfect, in perfect order. And to me, I find it in perfect harmony. So, the term coincidence, really, when people use it as like a fluke or what have happened anyway, really, coincidence just means things are working in order. So, no, there's no accidents in this universe, guys. We say that because we don't see it from the human standpoint. But it must come down to faith that we are affecting our outer reality with our inner collective assumptions. So, yeah, this is the whole message of the I remember when. If you maybe if you feel like you're struggling right now, or just feeling like things are just crappy, practice this. I'm just giving methods out here, guys. I'm not saying to use all my things that I'm sharing on here, but I find this one's pretty interesting. Again, it's not entirely for me, because I don't really, and I'm probably unconsciously using it anyway. But it's not one of those things that I try to consciously, deliberately use. So maybe if you find yourself in a cruddy situation, find time in your day, get into a relaxed state, and just imagine as if that person is no longer you. So imagine as if that undesired state has just a distant memory. and you're now the desired person you desire to be. So, I hope this video helps, and I bless you all and happy manifesting.